Connecticut's news station, one person dead after a fire in the capital city. The new information we're learning from officials.
Plus, a police standoff in Manchester. What we're learning about their response tonight.
I mean, I did want her to know that I loved her, and I told her everything that I heard.
Plus, scary moments for parents and students after a gun scare prompts a school lockdown.
And bringing attention to gun violence, the push to target marketing to address the problem.
Breaking news now on Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Jen Bernstein.
And I'm Ben Goldman. We continue to follow that breaking news out of Hartford tonight after a man's death following an apartment fire earlier this afternoon.
Fox 61's DeAndrea Turner live in Hartford on Park Street with the latest that we know so far. DeAndrea.
Well, Ben and Jen, this happened right after 1 p.m. today. You can see the remnants of this fire on the second floor. Officials say that they actually didn't see the fire from the entrance. It started on the second floor on the side of the building when they got a 911 call for an AC unit on fire. And this is still a very active scene. However, Hartford Fire Deputy Chief Kenneth Cowell says that the fire wasn't visible from the street when they arrived, but when they got to the second floor, the apartment was on fire too. The deputy chief says that it took about 15 minutes for the crews to put out the fire. We spoke to a neighbor who called 911. She tells us that it sounded like an explosion on the second floor, and her brother jumped into action to try to help.
There was nothing out of the ordinary. There's multiple agencies performing the investigation, so it's gonna take some time, but step by step they're gonna try to piece the puzzle together.
Kicked down both doors, but he had to come out because the smoke was billowing too much. And I also spoke with other neighbors who said that the man, he was very nice and a very good neighbor. Now, the cause of this fire is still under investigation, but right now they say that there is no foul play expected. In Hartford, DeAndrea Turner, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
DeAndrea, thank you. Also breaking news tonight in Manchester, where police are responding to a standoff that caused a nearby school to be secured for a few hours today.
Fox 61's Jake Garcia live from the scene with the latest on the investigation. Jake.
Well, Ben and Jed, Manchester police were in an active standoff for quite some time in the 100 block of Alcott Street. Now, the road has been blocked off since just before 11 o'clock. We've started seeing some action here in the past 5 minutes or so we're waiting to find out the latest details. But the standoff happened near Verplink Elementary School, which went into a secure mode for several hours and delaying the release of some students. Now, the students have since been released. Now, Manchester police haven't provided us much details about the nature of this investigation. However, yesterday, Manchester police were called to the same block on reports of a man with a machete. Police said that the man entered his home and did not come out. Now, in order to de-escalate that situation, officers decided to clear the area later yesterday evening. Now, we have heard from time to time when we were closer to the scene earlier today, some commands being given over the loudspeakers. So this is a continuing and active investigation. We'll continue to follow it and bring you any new information as it becomes available. Live in Manchester, Jake Garcia, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Jake, keep us updated. Thank you. Also breaking tonight, the Senate has now passed a bill to combat street takeovers here in Connecticut. The bill creates a task force to find and shut down the illegal activities. The task force will include state law enforcement officers and police from surrounding jurisdictions for a collaborative enforcement approach. The bill now moves to the House for approval.
Well, in New Haven, one person is dead after a Tesla collided with 9 cars. It happened on Nichols Street earlier this morning. Police say the driver of the Tesla, 35-year-old Christopher Andreozzi of Hamden, was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. 7 of the cars hit were parked, but 2 were driving. Those operators were taken to the hospital with minor injuries.
A man was arrested at the Meriden Mall this afternoon after a report of a customer who talked about being in possession of a gun. Police say they located the 65-year-old man in the mall. They determined he wasn't armed, but they did arrest him. As a precaution, John Berry Elementary School was placed on lockdown for some time today. Police say that there's no threat to the public.
A gun scare setting off a traumatic set of events for students and families in downtown New Haven. Students texting updates about hiding in bathrooms while police dogs searched for a weapon from room to room. The school day was cut short, and parents ultimately they were reunified with students at the Schubert Theater. Fox 61's Samaya Hernandez is live outside of the CoOp school in New Haven with what happened today. Samaya.
Yeah, well, no one was hurt and no gun was found, but parents rushed here downtown New Haven to greet their students when leaving the school right here on the street before school was even dismissed early. CoOp junior Nichelle Laurie was practicing for a dance recital Tuesday morning when the day took a scary turn.
And then we had an administrator come in here and say we were on lockdown. There was possibly somebody with a gun in there.
In the heart of downtown New Haven, police with weapon-sniffing dogs walk room to room after a report of a gun inside Cooperative Arts and Humanities High School. Their investigation centering around an unidentified bag.
Through camera footage, we see a bag being left at a door, it being brought into the school, it being touched by 2 or 3 different students, but moved around the school.
Outside, anxious parents getting text alerts from students about hiding in bathrooms. Nichelle's mom grateful to be reunited outside the Schubert midday.
There's a lot of mixed emotions going on. The most important thing to me right now is that my baby is safe. You know, when I first heard about it, it was very scary, and it's very traumatizing for the students, the teachers, the staff.
New Haven Mayor Justin Elicker working to comfort terrified families as police searched a 2,500 square foot area.
I have an 8-year-old daughter in a New Haven public school, and it's terrifying. It's terrifying for parents to have to do this.
The incident at CoOp not the first in recent weeks. Police collected shell casings outside John C. Daniel School last month after students and staff were dismissed.
We understand our families, their anxiety. We're anxious as well.
Anxious students explaining to Fox 61 they weren't sure if Tuesday was a regular lockdown or a real lockdown.
My main focus was I'm worried about my friends. Where my friends at? Are they safe?
Dancer Alana Ellis grateful to see her mom again after texting live updates.
I did want her to know that I loved her, and I told her everything that I heard.
One thing's for sure, these performers receiving a formal arts education downtown won't let a scare stop their performance.
The show has the show has to go on.
Again, police did not find a gun in that bag, but they say that they questioned the students who engaged with the bag. Now, there were social workers on hand today at school, and they will be back tomorrow. In New Haven, I'm Samaya Hernandez, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Just incredibly nerve-wracking for parents and kids, but glad it all worked out and everyone's okay.
For sure. Let's get to the weather watch here. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us here. Rach, am I wrong, or is this haziness continues? Because it feels like it's still here.
It feels like it is.
You are absolutely right. We have that haze in the sky again today from wildfire smoke all the way in Western Canada. Can you imagine what it looks like there for all that smoke to be continuously traveling all the way to New England? Such a far journey. And it looks like we'll have that haze in the sky again as we head through the day tomorrow before we clear it out towards the end of the week. We'll clear it out after a cold front comes through right around this time tomorrow, and that will bring us some cooler temperatures and the chance for some showers and maybe even a thunderstorm in spots. Right now we're looking at temperatures that are in the low to mid 60s for most of the state, but close to 70 for Windsor Locks. The visible satellite, you can't see it right now because the sun is getting a bit lower in the sky, but there is that haze showing up on visible satellite. And we're also seeing that cold front here to the north that will be paying us a visit. Temperatures tonight will be dropping back into the upper 40s to right around 50 degrees as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. And tomorrow we're looking at a mix of sun and clouds in the afternoon, warm temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 70s away from the Connecticut shoreline, but likely 65 to 70 at the beaches where temperatures will be a bit cooler. And then right around this time tomorrow, we'll be watching that chance for showers and even some thunder possible, especially north and west. We'll take a look at the future radar and the all-important Memorial Day weekend forecast coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. Let's get to a rather heartbreaking story here. Police are still investigating after a Burlington teen fell out of a pickup truck over the weekend and died. Police saying it happened on Fairview Drive. They say the truck was reportedly driving on the road when unknown events occurred and the 17-year-old passenger, Sophie Ringquist, fell out of that truck. She was taken to the hospital and pronounced dead. Ringquist was a junior at Lewis Mills High School. In a letter, the superintendent of the school saying a loss like this is an unthinkable tragedy for the Rehnquist family, Sophie's friends, and our whole community. Grief counseling will be available all week for members of the community.
Well, new details tonight. The hidden hookah lounge is temporarily closing after this weekend's homicide. This as police continue searching for the person who shot and killed 20-year-old Jonathan Samiti Jr. in the parking lot early Sunday morning. We've also learned that police have responded to the lounge for dozens of other calls in the past.